CGCP 2480 by Chesthetica. White has a queen, rook and pawn against black's queen, bishop and a pair of pawns. So white is ahead in material, but only by about a pawn unit. Furthermore, white's rook on b6 is in a position to be captured by the king. Now, white can't play rook to b7 check because the bishop will capture the rook with a cross check. That also wins the rook. So maybe white should play rook to d6. Now at this point, black could try for some counterplay with queen to c3 check. The pawn on d7 is considered lost. So after the king captures it, the black king might move to b7, and then the white king perhaps to e7, and black fortifies the defense of his king with maybe bishop to c6. Perhaps white continues with d5, bishop to a4, queen to d8, queen to g7 check, king to e6, queen to h6, queen to f6, and this will be a fight. There's no forced mate, but white can win this if he plays well enough. However, the experienced player or solver would look at this position and play something quite different. Can you see it? Okay, let's get into it. So as you can see from the engine analysis, there is no forced mate except for one line of play that most people would probably miss. Queen to c4. Now the obvious thing for black to do here is perhaps to capture that free rook. But if he does that, queen to c5 mates. A mate in 2. What if he plays instead a5? Well then both queen to a6 or even rook to a6 mates. But what if queen to a5? Notice how the area around the black king is quite well protected, including by the bishop on e4. White just continues with queen to c7 check. Now if bishop to b7 cross check, the bishop intervenes and also gives check to the white king simultaneously. Queen to b7 mates. If king to a8, either queen to b8 or rook to b8 mates. What about if bishop to b7 check? Now white has to deal with this, but in this case, white gives the cross check with rook captures b7. The king is forced to a8, and white captures the pawn on a6 with mate. If we look at the original position again, I suspect most players would have missed the winning line, especially if this was a real game under time controls. I hope you enjoyed. Until the next one.
Chesthetica's Book of Chess Constructs, Volumes 1 through 5. Available on Amazon.